Denzel Washington versus Pedro Pascal. DILF versus DILF. Who will win? The Equalizer 2, released in 2018, and is directed by Antoine Fuqua, who's also directed such films like Olympus Has Fallen, Infinite, The Guilty, and the soon-to-be-released next installment in this franchise, The Equalizer 3. And this movie is starring the badass himself, Denzel Washington, Pedro Pascal, Ashton Sanders, Bill Pullman, and Melissa Leo. Robert McHale is still trying to find that nice, peaceful, and quiet life for himself, now roaming the streets of Boston as a Lyft driver. A nice profession for him, so he can check out who is in need of help in his backseat, so he can knock on the door of some white rich boy's apartment and kick their frickin' asses. But now his friend Susan Plummer has stumbled across a coup in the US government that now Robert feels like he needs to take on for himself. And what he uncovers will shock him. Now, the first Equalizer movie was a very contained story. It was a very simple story of this girl, the streetwalker, is basically abducted, she is hurt, she's put into a hospital, and Robert's there just wanting revenge because he has this parental father figure-like connection with this girl that he wants to protect her and he wants to save her. But now that feeling is being granted to basically everyone in his back seat. He helps out an elderly gentleman that is in search of his sister. He's giving kind words to a couple of people who seem in distress in his back seat. But if he sees a woman who is definitely not all there and is not in good shape being put into the limo by a swarmy rich white dude who's just willing to just pay people off to keep quiet, well, that's the time where he's gonna go upstairs and break some arms and break some fingers. So that's the first half of this movie, is just watching him kind of live out his life. We see the new relationships that he's established in his area with his new apartment and the new people in his neighborhood. But we really don't have a sense of where this story is going. Plummer is investigating some politician. Looks like it was a murder-suicide when in fact it was just a mob hit. But that's kind of happening over here, and it's not really connected to Robert at all. So we have these two plot points that are kind of just up in the air, and then once a major thing happens in the murder-suicide storyline, that's when Robert's all of a sudden like, okay, now our movie is focused and we're going down this one path of a story. And it made this film feel very disjointed and, in the first half, very boring because I didn't know what we were building towards. It almost felt like the writers were kind of scratching for something. We need to build to basically the same climax that we had in the first one somehow, but we don't want to do the prostitute storyline. We need to come up with something else. I don't know, let's do a friend from Robert's past is now a turncoat, and now he's going to take him out, and then he's going to capture the kid who Robert now likes and is paying him to paint the neighborhood nice things. We're going to take him, and we're going to take him to where everything began for Robert, which is basically this seaside town, which is a very beautiful town, but it's in the middle of a hurricane, so you have this big sniper shootout in the middle of this hurricane with all the waves and all the wind. But Robert knows this town like the back of his frickin' hand and lays a whole bunch of booby traps, very Home Alone-esque. And he saves himself, he saves the kid, and he saves the town. It definitely feels like a step down from the first Equalizer movie, and I hate it when that happens. When you have such a solid entry in the first bit of a franchise, then you make a sequel, and it feels uninspired. It feels like we're just rinse and repeat. We're doing the same storyline again, almost verbatim. Like, really? We couldn't think of anything unique or different for Robert or for Denzel Washington to kind of examine and dive into? We're just basically doing the exact same thing? Okay. It makes me very worried for the next film, The Equalizer 3, which does come out this weekend. I'm still going to be checking it out because I do like this character. I like who he is. I like this list of books that he is reading and that he still hasn't finished it. Maybe he's going to finish it in The Equalizer 3. Who knows? We'll check it out. But it's very inspiring. I'm looking up several lists of 100 books to read before you die, see which one I like, books that I've heard of or books that I've always wanted to read but I haven't had the inspiration to. I mean, Denzel Washington, he's inspiring me to get back into reading. Even though I was never really into reading, I was a very slow learner as a kid. As an adult, though, I'm getting better, damn it, I'm trying. When the action scenes do happen in here, Denzel Washington, again, is fantastic. They rival the first movie's action scenes. It's just the pathway and the journey that we take getting to those fight scenes is just a big letdown. I don't really know what we're building toward. And the whole conspiracy and reveal of the bad guy and what they're doing, I still really don't know what happened or why they're killing the people that they're doing. Maybe, again, because I was bored, I didn't catch the reason why. In the first movie, it was simple. It's the Russian mob. Okay, they're the bad guy. They do drugs, they do crime, they're bad. Here, it's the politicians turncoating and doing things and covering up stuff. Okay, when has a politician never covered something up? Come on. The Equalizer 2, it's a little disappointing. It's still an okay action film to check out, and if I'm putting this on, if I want to, like, put this franchise on in the background, it's definitely something that I'm not going to skip over. This is part of the journey for Robert. I like where we end up. It's the journey getting there. It just feels sluggish. It's just a trudge. I'm going to give the Equalizer 2 3 out of 5 Blu-rays.
Not exactly what I had in mind, but not bad.
So guys, if you've seen The Equalizer 2, what did you think about it? Or if you've never seen it before and you stumbled across because of this video, then comment below and let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell so you know the next time I'm releasing my next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time on the channel, but in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.